Okay, so it's been a while, but here we are again. Sorry for the several month hiatus. I have been busy with things that I think can be really relevant to this channel. So I'm gonna jump right into it. I've been working on a lot of I would say self improvement. It's basically I was diagnosed in this time with both ADD and autism spectrum disorder. The autism spectrum disorder, I don't know, that's maybe not immediately obvious. You talk to me at first. A lot of times it isn't. I mean, even the therapist that diagnosed me with it told me that it wasn't always obvious. But especially based on things, from my childhood and things, uh, that diagnosis was made. Now, it has gotten a lot better, and part of what I haven't talked about on this channel, because I didn't have an actual diagnosis, was that a lot of the things that I'm doing are actually self-medicating. And I think that's going to help me to be more clear about the effects of these things, maybe why things work for me, because uh, uh, they help me in certain ways. And I think I couldn't say, this is good for this disorder because I didn't actually have it, even though at that time I already suspected it. So it's going to help me maybe be a little bit more clear. Now, all that being said, in the time that I was not making videos, YouTube started cracking down a lot on a lot of things that we talk about on this channel. So I don't know how easy it's going to be for me now to just make videos about how to, self-medicate for, the type of thing that they might just not like and they want to take it down. My videos are not monetized currently, so, I never monetized the channel to begin with. So for people, as far as, just getting me monetized, it doesn't really bug me too much anyway, because they were never monetized. But I don't want to see things actually get taken down or the channel get taken down. So I don't know. I would love to be able to get into what I've found, because I don't know if any of you have it, or I know a lot of the people who get into this stuff really are on some level at least self-medicating. So I would love to be able to talk about things that have worked for me, because like autism spectrum disorder, as far as mainstream, I don't want to say, a lot of doctors probably would not know that you can actually medicate to the extent that I've been able to medicate for this, and I have tremendous relief in symptoms, based on, just think, a lot of things, none of these things I don't think are really novel, nothing that I've discovered, but things that I've found that other, just, in forums and things that other people have found works for these. Yeah, I've been able to put together a tremendous stack that alleviates symptoms of both, ADD and autism to a pretty large extent, and I'm pretty happy about that. And in my case, the autism and the ADD are kind of related. They're very, very closely related. A lot of these, mental disorders, they're typically syndromes, okay? And if you've ever taken abnormal psychology, you probably know this. They're not, they're clusters of symptoms, but they don't necessarily. They're just clusters of symptoms, okay? And to say that somebody has ADD or autism, you're probably talking a lot about. There's a lot of different types. There's a lot of different things that are actually going wrong that can produce these symptoms. So, for me, it's a little bit atypical. It's not, the most standard sort of autism or ADD, but it's kind of a hybrid of the two, and that's what it is. And I've found that treating for these disorders, I've been able to treat these basically, and they're really closely connected. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much just about me, but this is all really relevant, and it's relevant to to understand the things that I'm telling you about. If something's working for me, this could just be why. But if you have one of these disorders, so yeah. So like I said, I don't know. With YouTube, I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens. I don't want to push to the point that things get taken down. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to touch base with everyone and let you know that I have not entirely forgotten about this channel. And so I guess takeaway things, since I'm not talking about a supplement today, any particular supplement. I will say, to do a lot of these other things, I never actually said this was just going to be a supplement channel. I've talked about being an autodidact. I'd also say, if see that a therapist is actually really good. If it's one of those things that maybe I actually didn't go to see a therapist right away. I went to a doctor and I was referred to a therapist. And so yeah, I think that, that's actually really helpful. It's not like, like probably have you seen like on TV where you like sit on a couch and just talk about your childhood the whole time. That's psychoanalysis, and I guess that's that kind of thing has pretty much been debunked. But I guess like in New York and things, a lot of those people are still around. But it's pretty much hogwash. But a good therapist, depending on what you have, you might not have to even go for like more than like maybe like 5 sessions or whatever. For me, it helps because having these problems that I have, talking to somebody for an hour like just every like 2 or 3 weeks is good for helping me to sort through things and figure out what's good for me. And so I think it's helpful. I think it's worth it. I think I pay out of pocket. I don't have insurance. But it's not, and it can be a vicious cycle if you have mental issues that can keep you from making the money. It's a huge problem, But, yeah, I mean, I would recommend if you got the money shoot, you might not think that you even have a diagnosis for anything. I think that, seeing somebody like that could help. I was actually I started listening to the Peter Attia podcast. That's pretty good. Talked about a lot of things that we talk about. And he had a psychiatrist on there not too long ago who actually said he thought that, pretty much everybody should see a therapist. It's just, everybody has certain issues. And so, yeah, I think, that would be one thing that I would recommend, if... if you have some thing that you're dealing with, I don't know what it could be. It could be like a life thing. Like for me, it was more like a neurological, just thing that I've had. But, I guess whatever, I would recommend, giving it a shot because, I mean, if nothing else, that's your kind of your entry point to, a lot of things. They could refer you to other resources, whether, other forms of mental health professionals, or even, just give you ideas of, the kind of things that like if you're looking to improve your social life, like give examples of, things that you can do to sort of do that, there's good. There's good to talk to. I recommend trying it, to see a therapist. I think it's been really good for me. And the one that I talked to is actually cool. She's really open to like these supplements and things, and so that's cool that I can tell her about how these things have worked for me. She actually takes a lot of the notes about things that I say work for me, and she would like to tell a lot of her other clients about them too, because she thinks a lot of things that have worked for me could help with a lot of of course you would imagine works with other people that I guess are on the spectrum or whatever. So I don't know. I don't feel like I want to give you something more that would be helpful. But that was something that I think. I just think it's really relevant. So, I also wanted to mention that I don't think I have anything else to mention. So, I guess that's it. But I will be making more other videos shortly. A lot more focused on things that I've talked about in terms of supplements, but I just want to basically let everybody know that I didn't forget about you and this channel, so keep anybody from unsubscribing. I don't think I lost a lot of I think I kept gaining subscribers, but I think that a lot of you will benefit from a better understanding of my situation, because just for what works for me, if you know, a lot of people, especially, well, some autism, but a lot of people are self-medicating for ADD. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, I'm trying to get prescribed. I'm actually having issues getting, even with the therapist's approval, recommendation to the doctor. I still had a hard time getting ADD medication. But even people who have been prescribed ADD medication, I hear them all say that, you're still going to get tolerance, you're still going to have to take breaks. And there's a lot of people who get prescribed this stuff that are still doing the things that we do, experimenting with supplements, because they wouldn't find things to help either rotate ADD medicine with, or to help, maintain potency or whatever. So I do know there's a lot of people out there, in particular with ADD, and some, that's how I found, the stuff with the autism is, other people out there have been experimenting with this stuff. So I think this is going to be really relevant, and I can actually mention, be more clear about why these things are working. In the past, I have mentioned, tangentially, somewhat, like, for example, I've talked a lot about how certain things would help me socially. That's kind of like what I was getting at. So, any of the old videos that I have made now, when I talk about things that sound like they, might have been, could have potentially been related to autism if I wasn't explicitly saying it, like improving social skills, that would be something that to keep in mind. Like, I don't know. One example of something was sulforaphane. I haven't made a video on that yet, but that is something that has been looked at to treat autism, and that was one of the things that has helped me. So, like, if I go around saying, now I can actually tell you that, at least for me, that seemed to have, helped relieve symptoms. Now, I don't, if you don't have anything like that, I don't know if, sulforaphane is going to help you socially. I think that, it's probably more something that's going to relieve autistic symptoms, and not be a boost like, like alcohol or, a stimulant would. So, yeah, there's a real purpose in telling you about these things. It's for the integrity of the information that I'm disseminating, and so yeah, there'll be much more to talk about. Probably, I'm going to try to make at least one video and try to pick up the pace a lot more, especially after this one, since I felt like there wasn't a tremendous amount of useful information in it. But, well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again very shortly, hopefully. Bye.